Fellas, let's go into an interesting game now. So we talk about a superpower and where they'll fit. We talked about a rising power in the Big 12 and where they're going to go. Let's go back to the Big 10, another heavyweight round. We've been looking forward to this all fall. Hack, I'll go with you. Your boys, they fought 12 rounds. They got bested tonight by Michigan. What was your biggest takeaway, and what does it mean to the Big 10 now with the Michigan team that has one tight loss?
Yeah. Again, the same issues for Penn State have shown up, and we talked about that the last time Clint was on. But at the end of the day, they're 0-3 against top 10 teams. I think the combined loss total is like 16 points. So they fought their ass off. I give it to them. But they definitely do have some deficiencies they got to fix. Now, move over to Michigan. I think this is one of the biggest wins Jim Harbaugh's had since he's been there.
In fact, that's a toast to Coach Harbaugh.
Yeah.
People have written your obituary so many different ways. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest wins Coach Harbaugh's had. He's finally in the driver's seat. Michigan's always been that letdown team towards the second half of the year. And with the gauntlet that he has here to finish, being able to survive Penn State and Michigan State 1-1 and a tight one against Michigan State, who's a damn good football team. They now have everything in front of them. It's coming down to one of the biggest rivalries in college football in Ohio State, Michigan, at I think it's the last game of the year, to ultimately have a chance to play their way into the Big Ten championship and a playoff seat. So I think it was a huge win for Harbaugh, and I think they did it. They scrapped and clawed, and they did it in a good way. They beat a damn good defense. Penn State's always had that this year. That's been kind of what they've hung their hat on, I think, as a whole unit and as a team. So, yeah, I think Michigan's got it in front of them, and they, as long as they keep handling business, they get to circle that game at the end of the year and got a chance to play their way in.
Huge. Clint, how big is this? Just like Hack alluded to in Ann Arbor, Jim Harbaugh, if nothing else, he's been game. They've been there to battle. They battled Ohio State all those years. There's not a coach in the country that doesn't wear a specific weight. And he wears two weights. Ohio State is a weight on his back. Michigan State's a weight on his back. People don't care shit else about anything else. He got close on one, lost, but he's priming up in a position to go get the other one. How big is this for him, for his staff, and for what they're trying to get done at Michigan?
It's huge, man, because, look, the fact that you probably know Harbaugh better than I do. I've just been around guys that have been around Harbaugh, and ultimately, he's a dude that's a little bit quirky and does things his own way. And I think that's probably only going to go so far unless you're chalking up the big time victories along the way to justify what people have to deal with. And so I think he's done a hell of a job, but it's put up or shut up time. It's time for Harbaugh to go and win the big one and get into the big dance and meet those expectations that they had when he took the gig. And so, I don't know if Harbaugh's still that guy that the San Francisco 49ers had all the stories you hear about him rubbing people wrong, hard to deal with, and that kind of thing. But if he is, this thing better shape out well for him, and he better beat Ohio State down the stretch and get into that big dance. I know that much.
Well, here's what I do love. They do have an identity at Michigan. They have been playing great defense over the years. They commit to running the ball. They don't always have great running backs, but they always commit to running the ball, and they go late into these fights. It's 11th, 12th round. They're still going. Difference now, I think, you got a playmaker at quarterback who settled him down. Cade McNamara, he's got him on track. He can keep him paced up, and he's not a superhero. Like if you put him on a field with Rattler and Caleb, people would trample him to get to those two. But at Michigan, he's steering the ship. He's keeping them on time. The plays he's winning off progression. He's winning with his eyes, and he's winning with accuracy. and he's really settling them down. He's tough. He's a Harbaugh type kid. And so they're going to need that going forward. They got a couple more monster games to go through, but they got to go through Columbus, or Columbus comes to them. But I like where they're at.
That's going to be fine until they lose a game, and all of a sudden that quarterback ain't going to be dynamic enough. So they better win that Ohio State game, boss.
Yeah,
I mean, I mean, hell, I'm looking at people hitting me up wanting to fire Kendall Briles as the offensive coordinator at Arkansas. I'm thinking, what the hell are you talking about? They won 7 games and are running the rock on everybody until tonight on LSU, and obviously not on Georgia. People have such a short-term memory and are such victims of the moment, man, that if that kid can play well, he can play well the entire season. And then just like Harbaugh, if they don't beat Ohio State and they don't get to that big dance,
right,
and everybody's going to turn on them.
If you're looking for ways to skip the trip to the post office and dodge all the hectic holiday shopping traffic, like Clint Sterner, why not save time and money with Stamps.com? Stamps.com lets you compare rates, print labels, access exclusive discounts on UPS and USPS services all year long. It just makes sense, especially if your business sends more mail and packages during the holiday. Whether you're selling online or running on office or a side hustle, Stamps.com can save you so much time, money, and stress during the holidays. How? By allowing you to access all the post office, USPS shipping services you need without taking the trip and getting a discount you can't find anywhere else, like up to 40% off USPS rates and 76% off UPS. In 2021, if you're still going to the post office instead of using Stamps.com, it's like taking the stairs instead of riding the elevator. Just going up a couple of floors. Sure, take the steps. Walking up 30 flights a day, you could use a break. And if you spend more time than a few minutes a week dealing with mail and shipping, Stamps.com is your lifesaver. You'll save so much time and money, you'll wonder why you didn't start sooner. So join Stamps.com, save time, save money this holiday season. Sign up with the promo code DARK, that's all caps, for After Dark Show, Phil to 12, for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, free postage, and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, like Christian Hackenberg does. Click the microphone at the top of the page and enter the code DARK, all caps, for Stamps.com.